Hello and welcome back to this channel. In this next series of videos, we will be talking about Chapter 3 Business Environment. In today's video, we will be discussing about the first segment of the chapter, which is features and importance of business environment. Before we do that, let's understand what is a business environment. Environment is anything, the place in which we exist and we do activities, isn't it? So earth is our environment, the town is your environment, the city that you live, the street that you live is an environment. Similarly, a business cannot exist in space or somewhere, isn't it? So business has to exist in earth. So everything that is near and far from that business will comprise of its environment. Okay, so let us understand what are all the dimensions of environment, how they affect a particular business. So if you want to become a graduate in business, we have to understand how there are multiple forces inside an environment and how those forces will have an impact on our business. So the first thing is, in the features and importance, we have to identify, I just said there are forces. So we have to identify what are the specific forces and what are all the general forces. When we talk about specific forces, these are the aspects that particularly affect only my business, or it could affect my sector, my line of business. I'll give you an example. Let's say the government of India has increased the rate of GST on air conditioners. Also, let us assume that we are having an air conditioner business. What is the current rate of GST for air conditioners? It is 28% because it is considered as a luxury good. So it is 28%. What if the government increases the GST from 28% to, let us say, 35%? As of now, the maximum rate in GST is 28%, but let us still assume hypothetically, what if the rate goes to 35%? Already the rates, because of the GST, the ACs are quite on the high end. It starts from at least 35,000, the lowest end of AC that if you buy, and it goes as high as 50,000, 1 lakh, depending on the tonnage that you have in AC. Now, if I have 28%, an AC that costs me 40,000 rupees, as a seller, I'm charging 40,000 rupees to the buyer with 28% GST. If the GST rate goes up to 35%, then the MRP of the AC also has to increase, isn't it? So the 40,000 AC will now suddenly become, let's say, 43,000 or 44,000. So that 7% increase in GST will have a direct impact on the customer's pocket. Now, because the GST rates have increased, the MRP has increased. Because MRP has increased, customers will find it more and more not so easy to buy. That pain factor will be there. When a buyer is making a decision, when he sees an MRP at 40,000 and when he sees an MRP at 44,000, there will be a huge difference in his buying mindset. Now, because of that, my sales will decrease because more and more customers will find it costly and the sales will get decreasing according to that level, same proportion. So this is an unfavorable example. Now let us totally change it in the other way. What if the rates, instead of 28 to 35, it becomes 28 to 18? Government decreases 10%. So let's say government thinks that every city in India is almost hot in summer. Those 3-4 months are totally unbearable. So almost everybody is buying AC. Let's make it more affordable. What if government thinks like that and decides to reduce GST? Now, because of this decrease, it will have a direct impact on MRP. So suddenly the 40,000 rupee AC might become 35,000 or 36,000. Now, because there is a price decrease in AC, more and more customers might find it affordable and they might decide, okay, fine, now we can make the buy. So they might start buying AC. Some customers might have one AC in the house. They might have 2 or 3 add-on ACs to the other rooms as well. So because of this, there is a possibility that my sales might increase overall. So this is the example of specific force. I just gave you an example of the positive as well as negative aspect, the favorable and unfavorable aspect. Now let us see a general force. A general force is anything that affects every business in the country, every business on the globe. So let's see again an unfavorable example and a favorable example. The unfavorable example is COVID pandemic, which we just saw 5 years ago. I hope you are mature enough when that happened. We all saw how COVID pandemic affected every business. A lot of companies had to shut down, do a lot of layoffs. Many people's job got lost. Commerce totally stopped, isn't it? So it did not affect a particular sector of business alone. Everybody faced the heat because of this pandemic. So that was the unfavorable example. Now let us talk about the favorable example. The last 3-4 years, the AI growth in AI sector has absolutely been mind-blowing. We are outsourcing a lot of tasks to AI. Many people are not writing things anymore. They are just giving a prompt to the AI. AI gives them the write-up. They just have to copy paste it now. And a lot of people don't need to create pictures now. They don't need to edit pictures now. They just give AI the command and then it does the work for them. So because of this, again, every industry is applying their own version of AI in their business. Because of that, they are having a lot of cost savings. Any company previously, they used to have customer support. Let's say they were needing 15 to 20 people for a customer service team. And now because of the AI, they can kind of automate a lot of frequently asked questions into a chat box. They still have customer support team, a human involvement in customer support, but they need not have 20 people now. They can do the job with 5 people, with all the other majority repeat tasks will be done by the AI. So the human people will come into picture only when it is a new issue or when it is not solvable by AI. So that's how AI has impacted positively the businesses. That's the first point. Next thing is, you also have to understand the environment has multiple variables. What do I mean by multiple variables? You can see there are several variables which are government, banks, businesses, farmers, public, service sector industry, manufacturing industry. The number of players, I call them as variables. Every environment has a variety of players, so many number of players. Because of this, the environment becomes incredibly complex. I have given you another example. Let's say you have a friends group and you have to plan for a trip. In that group, let's say there are only 2 people, you and your friend. Both of you have to plan for a trip. It will become very simple, isn't it? So you just have to discuss, only 2 people are involved. All the details, up and down schedule, everything will be fixed easily. Where you guys want to go, where you want to stay, everything. But what if 10 of you as a group are planning for a trip? Now immediately, how many interactions will happen? Complexity of the network increases with more and more number of people coming inside. Similarly, the environment will become extremely complex because there are a lot of players involved, because there are a lot of variables involved. These variables are just very tiny sample that I have given. An environment has still more countless amount of variables. These 4-5 that I have given here are just for you to get an idea. Okay, so I just proved the point, it is complex, and also I want you to understand it is completely interrelated and interdependent. With these variables that I have given, we can see how they are interdependent. Government is dependent on people because people pay taxes. People are also dependent on government because government is the thing that provides the road, supplies electricity, sends water, healthcare. So these two are interdependent. Government is also dependent on business and business are also dependent on government. People are dependent on businesses, businesses are dependent on people. So every variable is interrelated and interdependent upon each other. Now, I want you to understand dynamic. Because there are multiple variables that I just explained, environment never stays static because imagine it's a multiplayer game and everybody is playing their own version, everybody is playing their own moves. So if it is a chess, there are only 2 people, the movement is slightly less. But imagine it is a game of chess with 100,000 variables, 100,000 players. How many squares will be there? How many coins will be there? How many pieces will be there? And how many moves will be there? So it is complete dynamic. So regarding this topic of dynamic, I just want you to give you an example. Visualize a railway station. Just sit there in a platform like this for 1 hour and observe things. How many trains will come and go? How many people will come out of the train and board into the train? How many people will decide to just stay? How many people will decide to skip the train and catch the next train? So you just get the idea. You can also do the same, visualize the same for an airport. How many people will walk into the counter? How many people will walk out of the counter? So many examples. Railway station is a dynamic environment. Airport is a dynamic environment. The same way, the overall business environment is also dynamic because there are lots of players and every player will play their own moves. Now, moving on, the last 3 bullet points that I want to discuss here is, if you understand the business environment, you as a firm can spot opportunities, you can spot threats, and based on spotting the opportunity and threat, you can plan your future. You can have your policy formulated for the future. Let me explain how. What do I mean by spotting an opportunity? Recently, we have this news that Apple has decided to open a factory in Chennai, which is basically they are moving a sizable portion of their production from China into India. Particularly, the factories are getting opened in Chennai. In Chennai, there is a place called Sri Perumbudur. For those who are outside Chennai, to give you some context, Sri Perumbudur is like a suburb. It's like an industrial town. People who come from city to Sri Perumbudur, it takes at least 20 to 30 kilometers for them to travel. And it is not so well connected with the city as well because there is no local train that connects Sri Perumbudur with the main city. So it is quite a hassle for the people who are going to get employed into Apple factory, because when a factory opens, a lot of people will join there as workers for job, but they will be somewhat living in the edge of the city and they have to come all the way to this industrial town. Now, how do they commute? If I am a person who has already a cab business, what I will do, I will start buying some 20-30 extra cars or minivans. I will solicit these future employees who are going to work in the factory and say that I have a cab facility. Are you signing up with me? I will arrange pickup and drop for you. Or I can get an ongoing subscription deal with the Apple factory itself. Now, don't you see? A new factory coming into this location, it will employ at least 3,000 to 4,000 new people. So imagine if there are 3,000, 4,000 people, I will have a definite business opportunity of providing a cab service to this particular factory. So that was the example of opportunity. Now, what could be a threat? A threat is anybody, a new competitor coming in your field. Let's say you are the market leader in the brand that you are having. There are some 10 players along with you. The guy who's ranked at number 5, number 6, he's suddenly having a huge growth in business. His growth is unbelievable. He has done some new thing. Let us say he discovered some new production technique. He came up with a new scientific formula. He patented it, and now the entire business is going to be revolving around that particular player. He is no more of number 5 player. He's soon going to be number 2 and he's soon going to be number 1. So your position is under threat. What you are going to do? How are you going to tackle this situation? Again, another general example is a threat where there is a world war coming. Let's say there is a war scenario in your particular locality. There is a civil unrest. So these are all the things that will be a big threat for your normal functioning of business. Now let us talk about how assessing these threats and opportunities can help you assist in your planning and policy formulation. Let's say you spotted an opportunity. I just gave you this cab service example. You can immediately book, say, 20 to 30 cars and then approach the factory and say that I already have a fleet of 50 cars. I can be an exceptional cab service provider. Which means, let's say you are already having only 10 cars. Now you are going to expand your fleet up to 50 cars. So don't you think you need to invest some money on your assets? So don't you think you should approach the banks for loan and other money facility? So that is exactly planning. So you will plan for expansion and then you will increase your capital expenditure. So you will plan for your finance well ahead. And then what is a threat? How will you plan? Let's say in India, the telecom market is majorly dominated by Jio and Airtel. Who were the third and fourth players? The third and fourth players were Vodafone and Idea. And because Vodafone and Idea were too minimal, they had very less market share, and entirely this market share of telecom is captured by Jio and Airtel. Vodafone and Idea would have thought that we are under threat. Let's say at least we will merge and we will become like a number 3 player in the market. They thought and they came up with the idea and they merged. They thought because of the merger, people will start to perceive them as a big player, and a lot of people will move from Jio to VI and Airtel to VI, but that really did not happen. But at least a company, if it finds a threat, it can make a counter move, it can plan a counter move. There are 5 dimensions to the environment: economic aspect, social aspect, political, legal, and technological aspect. We will see each of them in detail one by one in the upcoming lectures. I will see you in the next one. Thank you and bye bye.